And speaking of Kawasaki, they did drop their 2026 lineup recently. What do you know about that, Joe?
I gave it a look over the other day, and nothing big. It looks like for 26 so far. They did release the 2026 Brute Force 750 lineup, which got in the two base models, the base model and the EPS model. There's new colorways. Pricing went up $100 for each machine. No changes other than that. They did change the LE model, the limited edition that we have as a 25 test unit, into an SE, a special edition model. And they did make a couple changes to that model. They added a worn VRX 2,500 pound winch, and they added a front brush car to the machine. It went through, since the other machines got a $100 price increase, we just assumed the bare bones of this machine got a $100 price increase. And so essentially you're going to pay an extra $1,200 for the VRX 25 winch and the brush guard installed from the factory. It seems a little pricey for those couple of upgrades. I didn't dig into whether or not the special edition, or I'm sorry, the power steering versions bodywork was painted. Maybe that's a difference between the power steering and the special edition. But from what I saw, it seems like you're paying $1,200 for the winch and the bumper. I guess if you really want it.
We priced that out actually. If you're mechanically inclined, you could add those things yourself for
right
a little extra coin.
Right, for $800 give or take. You could put that stuff on yourself. So if those are items you really want and you want to finance them into the machine, have at it. If not, I'd probably buy the power steering model and just accessorize it to meet my needs. But
yeah,
that is me. The Brute Force 300 hasn't changed very much at all since it came out. Still a good little reliable unit. They're still listing that as a 2025. Expect it'll be back as a 26, so nothing new to report on that yet. And then the Brute Force 450 just came out last year. We both reviewed it. They're still listing it as a 25, and the price hasn't changed on that. Actually, I think I did see a $500 rebate on Kawasaki.com, so if that's a machine you're interested in, you might be able to save a little coin on it right now if you pull the trigger. And then it's funny, you go to the Kawasaki website and then there's the KFX section. So you click it eagerly, and here's the KFX50 and 90, no 450, but they tweaked the color a little bit for 26. Those are 26 models now. They added that blue to the graphic that they're doing in the KX dirt bike lineup for 2026. And the good news is that there is no price increase. The price on those two models is holding steady. And that's kind of what's going on for Kawasaki and the ATV stuff so far. Don't expect we're going to see anything groundbreaking this year, but it's back. But Honda's got their 26 stuff out as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They just dropped information recently about the Ranchers, the Foreman, and the Foreman Rubicon for the 26 model year. There are, I think, some color changes there. Nothing new to talk about as far as functional changes go, which is kind of typical. Anybody that, if you haven't checked out the website of the 2026 models, unfortunately, there is not a new TRX 450R there, or a TRX TR for that matter.
But thanks for tuning in to check.
Yeah, exactly. But there is some exciting news on the Honda side that we dug up. And just July 8th, there was a patent drawing that dropped for, and I'm going to pull this up right now to share my screen. Let's see if I can make that work. Here we go. We got some info on a steering wheel, and this is side-by-side related, but it's very interesting. A lot of the stuff that we've heard coming down from Honda, or actually people in the know with Honda, they're not real happy with the way their Talon program is working, although the Talon, I think, is a great machine. It's just not up there with the horsepower of the Polaris and the Can-Am. But this dropped, the new steering wheel, and in the text, if you go through it, it said this is designed for a side-by-side, but this is not your typical side-by-side steering wheel. And it actually looks much more like the steering wheel you remember from the Honda Pilot and the Odyssey before that, back in the 80s and even 70s.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Look at that. As you go down through the different drawings too, I'm going to go down to the one where they have the hand placement on this wheel. Should be this next photo. You can see where the thumbs are at. That tells me that this is a 90-degree turn. It's a very quick turning machine, which would mean that this is a smaller machine. It kind of makes us wonder, is Honda looking at going back to a machine that is narrower, that can fit on 50-inch wide trails, that you can ride just about anywhere, while a lot of the bigger side by sides are actually being banned from some parks and areas that have narrower trails. And are they looking to create? Do they recognize that right now we're in an uncertain economic situation with the entire U.S. where people are looking for more affordable options? That's what we think is going on.
Right.
But
So, and if that's something they're doing, while they might continue to tell us that they don't see a demand for a sport ATV, they clearly, if they're going down this road, and this turns out to be what we think it is, something like a resurgence of a pilot, maybe a pilot with a little bit more utility capability. We have no way of knowing, but it appears that Honda sees that building things that cost as much as boats, you really limit your potential customer base, and selling things that cost less means you have a larger audience to buy into your brand, to become a future customer, to buy even higher end ticket items. So, while it's in no way an indication of a TRX 450R hitting the market, we know Honda has a couple of TRX 450R sitting in the rafters, and the fact that they are looking at more budget friendly options apparently could be a good sign for that. And we'll hope for more good things to come from Honda at some point.
maybe we're just being optimistic, but it makes sense, And going back to the pilot, this thing was made in 89 and 90. They didn't do real well back at the time. And it's kind of funny, all of us in the media, and as we talk to other people, the ongoing theme with this is that it was just, over the last decade, a couple of decades, is that the pilot was just ahead of its time. And maybe that time has come back.